Hi. Welcome to our ancient alignment viewer. You see the web address at the top of the screen. And this is our new application to test orientations of ancient structures and roads. And you see me testing here some buttons, clicking, draw poles, draw roads. There's an explanation of how to use the app. And I want to thank my friend and buddy Victor for building this awesome application. Can be helpful to show some things. Let's go to Los Angeles. Here we are. So by double clicking with the left mouse on the screen, the application shows the amount of roads that are correlating with the poles and their percentages. There's an analyzing tool. You see clearly pole 1 is almost 18%. So Los Angeles is built in our current time frame. That seems very obvious, but it's not so obvious for other things. So that's why I'm beginning here with you. So let's go to show this pole again. You can do your own research in your own environment. And now let's go to Chicago. You see the same cardinally aligned grid. Again, the same high percentages in cardinal orientations. You'll see the whole area is cardinally oriented. So it belongs to our current time frame. That should be clear, because we know the US is built on new soil, so to speak, on the grounds of the indigenous people. Well, that is this part in the US. Let's go to the biggest pyramid in the world, called the Pyramid of Cholula. You have probably never heard of it. Right, let's go to Cholula in Mexico. Here we are. Oops, that's the university. There is the pyramid. This pyramid is so big that there's even a church built on top of it. This is not a small church. It's about 1,000 square meters. The terrain is about 3,000 square meters. This pyramid is totally covered in soil. Only the staircases, these are as big as the church itself, is visible. So we can align with this part of the pyramid. is perfectly oriented to pole 4, as you see. But now comes the interesting part. The whole city appears to be wrapped around this ancient structure. And that is interesting because we see this happening all over the world. Here you see pole 4. There's still some minor glitches in the software, like this strange triangle on the North Pole you see there. We have still to do some work. But Victor has done so much work already, because it's not so easy to program this all. Here you go, we zoom in. Let's look at the streets, at the orientations of the roads around Kulula. And this is weird. Why are these roads, why is the city wrapped around this pyramid? Why not cardinally oriented, like, for example, Los Angeles or Chicago? Because this whole area is built on top of ancient structures, as you see. Pole 5 is also a very high correlation with pole 5, the even older pole. That's intriguing, isn't it? This is what this tool has revealed to us. And so you can do your own research now. And now let's take a look at Teotihuacan. There we go, close to Mexico City. Again, not cardinally oriented ancient city. It is oriented to the heart of pole 3. But here isn't our work stopping, because this whole area is wrapped around this ancient structure as well. So that is intriguing, of course. Why is that? Because it's built on top of old foundations, the roads and the foundations, the new city built on old foundations. There we go. You can click away the other poles so it becomes more clear. Here we go to Teotihuacan. You see this main road. Come on. Just a little bit fooling around. You will click what you want. As you see, there are also high percentages aligned to pole 4. It is something that you would expect, by the way, because there was probably a culture before this Teotihuacan culture. Now let's go to Giza. You now know that Giza is not the biggest pyramid in the world, as many people think. It is the Pyramid of Colula in Mexico, where the Spanish conquistadors built a church on top. Here you see again, if you click on the here you can also tilt the screen, and you can, by clicking on this compass sign, you can go back to cardinal orientation. Hoppa, like this. And there's Giza. Spectacularly large, but not as large as Kulula. You see, this is a cardinally oriented structure, so it is not very old. Not as old as Kulula and Teotihuacan. That is one thing you can say for sure. That's pole 1. As you see, our current geographic pole. That is the pole where our Earth is spinning around. What is also intriguing is that this city, Cairo, close to the pyramid, is counterclockwise oriented mainly, as you see. And that suggests that it is also built on older foundations, or has the tendency to be oriented to more ancient poles, as you see. Pole 2 and pole 3 has a relatively high percentages. There's even something of a signal on pole 4. And now let's take a look at Callao in Peru. I have suggested in some older videos that Callao might be one of the oldest cities in the world. Sort of, say, a region where civilization seems to have appeared at first. There are some pyramids, ancient structures. They're also slightly clockwise oriented, as you see. So let's click away some of the poles. Poles that are not relevant. And then you see they are perfectly aligned with the most ancient pole, pole 6. Of course, we had some, as you might know, some troubles with proving the exact location and the existence of pole 6, but there is a signal, and the signal is not okay to prove it, but it's strong enough to be a suggestive position. And this is Callao is aligned with this pole 6. And originally this location would have been located on the northern hemisphere. Not on the southern hemisphere, but on the northern hemisphere. So above the equator, originally. And there are no roads, not many roads close to Callao, so we have to do it with the structures. You can play around and do your research and so on. Of course, some parts of the road seem to be correlating with these structures as well. So there is a weak signal of roads nearby. And of course you can take a look at some cities in the neighborhood. See here there's a high correlation in roads with pole 6 and pole 4. And there's a city in the neighborhood. Probably a city with much older foundations than the current construction suggests. It's all or cardinally or slightly clockwise oriented. So see pole 4, pole 5, and pole 6. High correlations. So, and this suggests really old foundations, old roads, old cultures, old origins, and so on. Have you ever been to Kazakhstan? Me neither. But we can go there just without transporting our bodies. We can go there in the spirit, in the mind, and we can go there virtually. Just do our research from the satellites. Here we are, Savran in Kazakhstan. These structures are counterclockwise oriented, as most on the Eastern Hemisphere are. And this structure is, you see, is not perfectly. This one, not perfectly. See, it doesn't fit perfectly. It has to fit almost perfectly. So we have the, yes, it fits. It is the purple line. Purple is pole 5. This one is slightly different oriented. It doesn't fit on pole 5 or on pole 6. Maybe not everything fits, of course. This would be impossible. It is about a strong signal. That is what the work is about. And this structure correlates with pole 3. So in this region you have a lot of hits, and this is not, of course, very likely to occur by accident. You see a lot of marks in the ground of ancient foundations. There hasn't been much digging, I assume. Archaeology hasn't been there much. See, this also correlates with pole 5, this purple one. So this is an interesting region, very interesting. And of course you can you can zoom further out to look for roads to be correlated with one of the poles. This road not. You can zoom maybe a little bit more out. You can just fool around, play around, of course. This is all possible. You don't have to be a PhD guy to wander around, to do your own research, not to be afraid of doing things wrong. So this was just a short tour of the new application that is now available in a test environment, and once it is approved, let's say, then we can roll it out in the website or have a separate domain. We will just have to look at it, how we will do it. And so people can do their own research, can look around, can play around, and look at the high percentages of correlations to one of the poles in your own neighborhood or wherever you are. But you need a PC. It's not available for iPad or iPhone or phone. Of course, it's more than only iPhone. So you need a PC, click with the mouse or a pad. So that's how it's done. Okay, let me know what you think and what suggestions you have to implement still. Thank you. Bye bye.